Hey guys, welcome to Daska Discusses. Today I'm talking about Aquaman. Boom! Well, welcome back guys. That's right, I'm Daska. Welcome to Daska Discusses. As you may have seen on my Instagram, I went away on a bit of a vacation over the break, just about the last week or so, and I managed to see Aquaman at an old school drive-in down on the Melbourne Peninsula. And I must say, I was pretty impressed. I've been having a look at some reviews and there's a lot of negative feedback for the film. Look, I know there's Marvel versus DC, all that garbage. The thing is, I'm not going to... Look, there's a couple of spoilers in here. Actually, spoiler alert, yes, of course. I'm going to talk about the film. Alright, well, we're going to talk about the film. We're going to discuss the key points for me, what I enjoyed. So sit back, relax, and yeah, let's have a bit of a chat, shall we? Let's discuss. First off, I really enjoyed it. I know there's been a lot of negative feedback and hate for this film. I know there's the whole DC Marvel garbage that's been happening, but we'll talk about that later. In terms of the film itself, I thought it was really well structured. You know, 2.5 hours went pretty quick, but we'll get into the nitty-gritty of things in a second. Jason Momoa playing Arthur, very, very good role. Brought a lot of, I don't know, humour to the role as well, and obviously I'm a fan of Game of Thrones, so every time I saw him I just kept thinking of Khal Drogo, was hoping that he would be back alive, but obviously different universes, of course, yeah. Amber Heard playing Mira was okay. We'll talk about a few of her scenes which I found, I don't know, a bit underwhelming at times, with a few other characters as well. In terms of that, I really think the introduction of Aquaman was fairly good. The fight scene there with Manta's father, and then Manta comes in. I felt that whole subplot, that story, not confusing. I mean, I'm not 100% sure on the Aquaman storyline. Obviously, I mean, I'm more of a Batman fan, but I could follow it. It was fine. So that was that, and I really enjoyed going from that, but looking at the actual intro of Aquaman as a kid at the aquarium was a nice touch. I thought the camera work in the film was really well done too. The fight scenes, the use of the Dutch tilt, so when you'd be looking at something and then all of a sudden the camera will turn on its side and then back and forth. The editing wasn't too jarring. It wasn't like a Michael Bay Transformers film. It really did well. One scene I really did like at the start of the film was with Tamora Morrison, who played Arthur's father. Now, if you don't remember, he was from Once a Warriors, a good New Zealand film back in the day, back in the 90s. And they were sitting there at the bar having a drink, and it just reminded me of the film Once a Warriors. I was waiting for a bar fight to break out, but just for that little glimpse, I'm like, this reminds me of Jack Damas from Once a Warriors. So I really like what he brought to that role as well, being the lighthouse keeper as well. That was really good. Willem Dafoe as Volko played a fantastic role. He's not typecast in that kind of role in a lot of his films, but I think every time he plays in something, he's really underrated. I think he's a brilliant actor. I remember in Platoon he was fantastic. Nicole Kidman, I thought, you know, at the start of the film I was a bit iffy about her portrayal, but then at the end of the film, when you see what happens with her two sons, really worked well. So I was pretty happy with that. Overall, I wasn't bored during the film at all, but there were some laggy bits. But let's talk about my favourite scenes first, shall we? We get to down there with Atlantis, sharks with friction laser beams attached to their heads. That was a nice touch. I had a bit of a laugh, that Austin Powers reference there. The soundtrack I think they used when Arthur was driving with Mira through the city, underwater city there, Atlantis, was really interesting as well. It was kind of like that Blade Runner-esque type, that Blade Runner blues feel, kind of that Vangelis type of soundtrack from the 80s from Blade Runner. The awesome parts that I really liked obviously were, one of them was in Sicily, the wine part with Mira, when she, I guess you could say, she summons the wine and attacks Manta and all these little, and his soldiers that he's got with him, was really good. The flashback training parts where Willem Dafoe, or you could say Volko, teaches young Arthur about that move, you know, where he spins the staff around, was really cool, and how it comes back at the end of the film as well. The intro of Momoa, like I said recently, when he takes out all those guys in the submarine, was really cool. And the one-liners, yes, they're cheesy, but they're part of the film, guys. They're not trying to copy Marvel. People are trying to say that, but I guess you could say, in my opinion, maybe DC are moving a bit away from that dark palette of, you know, color and brightness and contrast, where they're trying to make it dark, right? Maybe they're trying to lighten up the mood a little bit. I felt this did that. It had the best of both worlds. The laggy parts for me, or the parts that I wasn't a huge fan of, not that I wasn't a huge fan of, but just, you know, I thought they were a bit laggy, were, I guess, in the desert with Mira and Arthur walking through there. I know it's part of the storyline, they have to find the clues to get the trident. I just felt that it was a bit, the jokes in that scene in those sequences didn't really work for me. The subplot with Manta, again, I'm not aware of the backstory of this character per se, but I just think it was a little underdone. And spoilers, obviously, you know, it's a spoiler review discussion. The end credit scene kind of did answer, or not answer, but it gave us some more info on that. I just think they could have added a bit more to that. The final war battle scene underwater was good, but it did feel at times that it had that Star Wars Episode 2 type of CG feel to it, which is not good, really. You know, kind of got that feeling at times. Now, I understand they can't go and film underwater, we know that. And I understand a lot of films these days rely on CG, yes, we understand that. But when it's oversaturated at times, my brain tends to kind of switch off, right? Wasn't a huge fan of that, that's my opinion, yeah. I know all the Avengers films have all sorts of digital effects and look amazing, but I'm not gonna go into it, but looking at superhero films, I know they're different, but The Dark Knight, Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins, less CG for me is what I enjoy. That's my opinion, that's what we're discussing, guys. Now, that's the only gripe with that. The last battle at the end between Arthur and his brother was interesting as well. I was waiting for the whole Mortal Kombat round one, fight kind of scene to happen. Then the Nicole Kidman comes out. You brothers better stop fighting. It was very interesting. I thought, going back actually to their first battle between Arthur and his brother, the whole deal about showing their stats on the screen in that stadium, I thought they really shouldn't have done that. That's my opinion, yeah. Really not a fan of that. And the octopus playing the drums, I know that's a reference to the comic book or somewhere that I read, fair enough. But again, those two little parts in that battle kind of cheapened the whole, I guess you could say, the feeling of that battle, how much was up at stake, and then having those two gags in there kind of dropped it for me. But hey, in summing up, what can I say about Aquaman? Enjoyable, not as bad as people are saying. Everyone's got their own opinion. What would I give it out of 10? I give it a nice, I reckon, 7.5 out of 10 for me. It was enjoyable. The time went quickly. There was a few laggy parts. Momoa played well. They all played their role really well, apart from those little things that I wasn't a huge fan of. A good DC film. Apparently it's breaking all sorts of records. Again, I'm more of a DC fan myself. I like Justice League, I like Wonder Woman. Batman, Superman was okay. This is definitely up there. Not up there with Dark Knight standards. And please, guys, keep your eyes out for my next video. It's going to drop real soon. So make sure you follow, if you want to follow me on Instagram as well. I've got a page there, Daska Discusses, or Facebook. And if you like what you see, you can just hit the subscribe button or like and comment, whatever you guys want to do. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate your support. Hit 50 subscribers this week, so I'm really happy about that. And let's bring 2019 Happy New Year's, and I'll see you guys in the next Daska Discusses. Boom!